Alright guys, so welcome back to the channel. So we guys saw there was just a little startup of my truck. I did take my exhaust, I did kind of modify it just a little bit. I just added, so I had like a I don't know, like a 2.5 or 2 foot or whatever it is, like pipe, and so I took that sorry, and I took that though, and I just added it to the end of my exhaust. So essentially, that part of the exhaust was meant for if I had like a long bed or if I had a mega cab. And obviously, I don't have either of those. I just have a quad cab. And so instead of running the tip like everyone else does, I was like, I want to be kind of different. I was trying to take off the actual portion of the tailpipe that was already on there. Not take it off all the way, but just take it off enough to where I could like kind of twist it. But I couldn't do it, so I just kind of undid it, like unseated it a little bit and pulled it up. But so anyway, so today's video, we're gonna go over kind of what's done to the truck now that we have a couple more things done to the truck, especially suspension stuff. I did the clearance, the cab lights, and yeah, so let's get into this video. So I just got back from the post office. I had to go drop off a couple things. So before I get started into the truck, I want you to go subscribe to this channel, and then also follow the Instagram. But then also head over to my website. I'll put some here on screen. I am actually starting to sell apparel. It is Street Train Co. Or Street Train Performance. I have a couple different selections on there, not a ton just yet, just because I'm just getting started kind of. But go on there though, and help support me on my business. So anyways, yeah, so let's hop into the channel, okay? So, all right, so obviously you guys already know I have the 3-inch Rough Country lift, right? And obviously the 24x14 Archons. So I gotta get, I think I gotta get either a different sway bar or I gotta get different control arms, because my sway bar end link, if you can see right there, is pretty dang close. So anyways, so that's not a big deal though. We'll get that fixed. It doesn't really affect anything on the ride or anything. So the next thing I did the other day, I actually installed these. I didn't make a video because it was hot and I was ready to get out of the sun. Are these the cab marker lights, or the clearance lights as people call them. So they were pretty easy to install. Let me sit down here. So they're actually pretty easy to install. All you really do is you take out, so I have a gauge pillar, so I didn't take off like the handle, but this is my gauge pillar. I just undid this, slid it out, and then on that side there's two, one right there, one right there, and then you take out the bolt for the I gotta reseat that a little bit too. It looks kind of like crap, but I was in a hurry kind of put it back together. So yeah, so right here there's a bolt behind here for the seat belt. You just take that, you undo that real quick. I cannot remember the size of it, like a T something or other. It's a Torx bit. It's a big Torx bit, probably the biggest one I have actually. So yeah, so you pretty much just undo all that stuff, and then once you undo that, you take off the handles first, and then you unbolt the handles as a 10mm socket. Same thing within the gauge pillar, or not the gauge pillar, but the pillar over there. Then you drop down this, and I said no, it's not an install video, but I'm just kind of explaining. It's pretty easy. Undo these, the visors, and then once you get all that down, you pull down the front part of your headliner. You can't take down the back. I didn't, just because I'm not doing this. It doesn't make any sense to do it. So anyway, so fast forward a little bit through the install. So for the lights, a lot of people online were saying, space them out this, whatever. I just did it easy. So I'll put this, well, I won't put this down into the section, but you can just kind of write this down if you need to, or you refer back to this video if you want to. So for my lights, I just spaced them from the side of the roof. So I'll show you. So from right here, but right here to the light, or it's like where the screw is for the light, that is 6 inches. For these side two, this one and the very far one right there, I don't know, my camera is kind of being laggy. It's weird. Maybe it's just my iOS, but so this is 6 inches right here, and you can see where my blind but is black, so I didn't really care. This is 8 inches up to the screw hole, to this first screw hole, and the other one I kind of just lined up, obviously, and then I drilled a hole in the middle. Since I don't already have cab lights, I just kind of just drilled like a, I think it's a 7/32 hole in the middle or something like that, or I don't remember the exact size, but it's a small size because I only had 2 wires. So and then these ones right here, I just spaced from there here to here, and then so on, 10 3/4 inches, so 10.75 inches. So I did that. Usually you do like a curve with the lights. And this sounds kind of like an excuse, but I don't really care. I actually like the look of it, but it really doesn't matter anyways. But I did do, I didn't really curve them to the curvature of the roof. You see how the roof is kind of, it's not straight across, it's like curved. I just put them kind of straight across. It was easier, but I can always go back and change it later. It doesn't really matter, honestly, to me. I think it looks good how it is. At night when it's lit up, you really don't even notice it. I don't really care. So there's a weird looking bug. Georgia, right? So all right, so from there, the wiring on these things was not that hard. So all I did was I started from the far end, spliced in a wire. Well, I just, stripped all the wires first, so that way I didn't have to do it when the roof was halfway down. It's kind of a pain. And then what I did is I propped up, or I didn't prop up, but I went through and I wired all the lights together, like on one strand of a wire. I just kind of mid-spliced it and then wrapped around there, put the heat shrink on there, make sure everything was good, all the way down. So the issue I ran into at first was that the white and black wire. So usually the black wire is ground. I mean, even on the battery, people say, oh, it's normal on auto. The battery has a black wire for ground, red for positive. So, yeah, I don't see that. But anyways, so up here though, these lights, the white was actually ground, black was power. Didn't work that night, but I was just like exhausted. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I woke up the next morning, went to work, came back for breakfast, and while I was at breakfast at home, I just went into my pillar, took down this pillar real quick, dropped it down, switched out the wires real quick, swapped them, just spliced the black into the red, because I had red and black wire, so I just spliced the black into the red, and the white wire, which was red, into the black wire that I had for ground. I put the ground, it's kind of like behind here, there's like a little like drop down, so you have like your thin roof, and then you have like a little like skeleton, like a brace kind of. I just drilled it into that as a ground, kind of with a self-tapping screw. It was, super easy. Just slide a lug on there, you're good to go. So see, that's how I do my cab lights though. So next, so I want to show you guys these. I'll go on this side, see a little better. Oh yeah, and also I did do my exhaust yesterday. It doesn't look the best, but I was kind of tired of like the tip, and I do like the look of it out like that, and it actually is, I'll tell you right now, it's so much quieter in the cab. And I did realize I have a freaking screw in my tire this morning, so that kind of sucks, but whatever, I'll get it fixed. So next big thing is these traction bars. I will put a link to them down in the description. I've talked about them before. These are Reaper traction bars. They are great. Customer service is just outstanding. Like, it's just ridiculous how outstanding it is. I didn't do an install of those, like I said before, just because it's kind of straightforward. You pretty much drill 2 half-inch holes through the frame up there, and then back here you just bolt it onto the axle, and definitely retorque them, because I torqued them down. This would be at, I believe on the description it says 60 foot-pounds. And then when I drove it about, 20 miles maybe, or 15 miles, whatever it was, they were definitely not 60 foot-pounds anymore. So I just retorqued them down to, I actually retorqued them to 65, just that way if it does back off, it'll hopefully stay at 60. But I'm going to check them again anyways after the 500-mile thing. So just like my suspension, even though I had somebody do it, I'm going to still you know, recheck it. So these traction bars though, I tell you, these are so amazing. Oh, crawling wreath here. So these are these are a beast, you know what I mean? So I did use some silicone. They were a little bit noisy, so I used some silicone just to quiet them down a little bit, and also, I mean, make it a little bit smoother, whatever. I mean, it still rides smooth, but these things are solid though, you know, and you torque these down and lock nut on them, a little bit of dirt from driving, obviously. So yeah, I definitely would recommend these. Not a bad price at all. Like literally, they are so they're cheap, but they are not cheap quality. That's for sure. They have a. I will not say they're cheap. I will say that they are a good price. That's what they are. They're not cheap. They're just a good price, and definitely 100% worth it. I would recommend those over spending $1,500 on some other traction bars. You know, I've been offered traction bars before, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's not bad, but they're like $1,000, and I'm like, I mean, now I probably need them just because of all the stuff I've done to it, and I love the look of the traction bars. And I know obviously not everything's for the looks, but obviously they serve a purpose. But I love the look of the traction bars. They're like, I love that with the lower look, and the traction bars on there is amazing. So so here's one more thing I'll show you. So I had a cut right here on my bumper. It's not the best, not the cleanest. I gotta use my Dremel to kind of clean up a little bit. I gotta get like a little sanding bit. But these tires are so wide, well, my wheels are so wide that they rubbed out here. You can't see it because it's not metal. This is a plastic bumper. It's like the sport bumper. And yeah, so it rubbed a little bit, not too bad, but I'm happy with it. I really honestly don't care. And then obviously last thing is I got new ones of these, despite what my other video was, those ones were trash. So I have these actual good ones now from AutoZone, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it though. I mean, you guys have seen my roll pan video. I'll put a thing up top. But yeah, if you have any questions at all about my build so far, at least, or if you guys have any questions at all in general about the diesel trucks or whatever it is, I've only ever owned the Powerstroke and Cummins. I've never owned a Duramax. Not really too big on Duramax, but you know, diesel's a diesel, and oh my, this freaking box is open, but whatever. So yeah, I do have a 6-inch lift for sale. So my garage is kind of messy. I have somebody that is interested in them, but if you know, money talks. So if you're in the market for the coil, it's really just the coils, and then there's my Rough Country boxes. They have the rest of the stuff, like the drop brackets and the blocks and whatnot. No shocks are going to be with them because I'm using my Fox shocks still. I have Rough Country ones, but I'm going to use this backup whenever these go out or whatever, before, or maybe I'll go with coilovers. I'm not sure, but yeah. So I would say if you guys want a 6-inch lift, you know, hit me up in there, DM me on Instagram. That'd be probably the best way. We can work something out. So yeah, if you guys have any questions though, go also and comment down there, and like and subscribe to this. Follow the Instagram. I'll put links down to the traction bars, and I already have another video with the lift on there, but I'll put a link to the traction bars down there. They are amazing. Like I don't get any axle wrap, I don't get any wheel hop, I don't get anything at all. It's amazing, great price. So yeah, if you have any questions though about those, or about installing the cab lights, since I did not do an install video, I may take down the roof and just show you guys, but I think it's probably pretty straightforward. So just I usually test those, take the wire, strip them real quick, put them up to the battery terminals, and test like black and white and see which one is which. But I did not do that because I was, like I was saying, I was already tired and I was just freaking exhausted from all the heat. So yeah, if you have any questions though, like I said, put down in the comments or DM me on Instagram, and yeah, I'll see you guys next video.